Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Computer Wednesday, we're going to talk about DeepSeek AI. So let's dive deep into it. Now, what exactly we are talking about? Well, this is simply put a Sputnik moment. Basically, whenever you have two big players going at it and one player does something so whoa, so out there that is like damn. So that damn moment is Sputnik moment, and that just happened in AI space because basically, till there were many companies, many countries, and almost all of them had kind of agreed to that USA is the daddy at this point in time. And it should not have been possible that somebody just comes up and is like, wabam. That should not have been possible. Now, doing something better than someone else is not that hard because again you can burn more money to do it. It's like somebody built Concorde and you're like, okay, I want to build better. Of course, burn money like there is no tomorrow. You can have Mark 3 passenger jet. That's not impossible. It's just that that first did not happen. They built Concorde, they built it for free. That's the shocking part. They did it what's supposed to be impossible. They did it cheaply, and on top of that, just to rub salt on the wound, it's FOSS, free and open source software. Take it and go. So it's not only they built a Concorde, they're like, take it and go, man. Who cares? Just take it and go. I'm like, what the heck? So this is the biggest shock to the system after quite a long while. Now, the first shock to the system was ChatGPT, because you have to understand fundamentally, even the Nobel Prize have been given about AI long ago, like the AI research that was done and neural network that was done in 1980s. So we knew about AI, and financial industry has been running on AI for long ago. But the biggest shock was ChatGPT when it became like, oh, AI can slowly imitate this puppy. Then it was like, whoa. So this is something same. And ChatGPT was released for public. This is released and given for free to public. So it's like, how the heck that happened? And overnight, it made China king of the AI. So that was a very big boom. Basically, like how Sputnik proved that USSR is genuinely better than USA, same thing happened. That's why it's such a big event. It's not the technology that much. It's just that how did that happen? How the heck it was cheaper? How the heck it's free? That's the shocking parts. Now, why the heck it is such a big deal? Well, let that be very clear. It is barely better, if not more or less same as ChatGPT 4o. However, in terms of efficiency, it's leaps and bounds better. For example, it's literally going from a scenario where it's like, okay, your car is giving you 22 kilometer per liter. You're like, yay, awesome, efficient car. And this car comes along, it's like, what about 200 kilometer per liter? It's like, order of magnitude efficient. So this is a very shocking. Basically, the amount of money that was spent to train the model and the amount of money that was spent just to run the model, it was free. Let that be very clear. It's free. Basically, the amount of money, $6 million, is so little that other big FANG companies, they may be paying that kind of money just to CA for balancing and all that. So how the heck you got that AI running? That's the shocking part. And a small team of new graduate. Now, let that be very clear. The Chinese people who did this, they had shared about their mathematics. And be mindful, half of these things, algorithms and all that, is open source. People know this. It's like somebody had to be crazy enough to try it. It's the best way to I can describe that, thinking exactly how SpaceX bitch slapped the whole rocket industry. Why? Because they were young enough, stupid enough to be like, okay, what if we did something differently? This is exact same thing. The person who is spearheading this project is very smart, like generational kind of smart, like smart. Now, on top of that, he was very effective in terms of hiring policy, where he was very clear. New graduates. Now, it's like, okay, why does that matter? Wouldn't we want to have mature and experienced people? No, he realized one very critical fact. Then when you have mature people, when you have people who have been working in AI for a few years, their mind has lost their elasticity. They are like a concrete that is set. They cannot adapt, they cannot change. It's exactly like how if you have talked to anyone else before SpaceX, it's like, okay, what if I land the rocket? People are like, dude, rocket equation does not like that. You can't do that. And SpaceX is like, yeah, rocket equation does not like that. But economics likes that. Physics, engineering, economics. So somebody had to be young and stupid enough to try that, and the same thing was done here. New graduates and completely independent funding. Very small funding, but independent. Whereas like, you have to do this. Like, no. We good. That's why I keep saying financial institutes, they're already in a scenario where it's like AI is new to you. We have been using AI for predicting and purchasing and all that from 1990s. Yes, that's how long ago they had it. So a very big corporation had a small side team, which again, many big companies do, and that's it. That's like, how the heck that's even possible? That's like literally NASA was beaten by a dude who just had 5 people working for him. We call him SpaceX. So that's the whole point. And to give you a context, this means Dell, HP, Lenovo, these sort of companies can run the same thing in terms of finance as side, and it will not even show up in their balance sheet. It's like, oh, what are we doing with this? Ah, who cares, man? Round it up. That's how small that money is. You're two big players. And just to rub salt on the wound, they did not even use CUDA. Now, be mindful, you can do AI coding, proper AI coding without CUDA. Now, everybody uses CUDA, so that creates a scenario where tools are already built, boilerplate codes are already, it's like, it's easy. It's like Unreal Engine. These people are like, what if we build our own? And they did not use CUDA. Now, is that a big deal? That's shut up, take money kind of deal. That simply means they can go from NVIDIA hyper expensive clusters and get relatively similar kind of performance from AMD for very low price. And the lower the price, the lower the interest rate. Lower the interest rate, the easier it becomes to become profitable. So it is a very big, shocking thing. And the fact that it self-trained itself, and it's like, now let that be very clear, the 6 million figure, it's only to run the one final instance that did the final thing, not the whole company, not the even that branch itself. That would be at least 20-30 million dollar. But again, trust me, the big companies that we are talking about, they have that much money as a rounding error, so it's free, practically speaking. That's why it's such a big deal. The fact that it became so free, so ubiquitous that everybody downloaded it and the servers did not melt down instantaneously. That's like, how the heck that happened? How the heck this system worked? Everybody knew this, but how the heck it worked? Like, your reinforcement learning. Heck, you can watch 5 or 8 years ago YouTube tutorials where people are like, okay, what if I'm making AI to play a video game using reinforcement learning? They did that with large language model. So that's the shocking part. Now, is there theft involved this? Because again, the shock was very shocking, so to say, and USA was like, they thought that blocking NVIDIA's flagship GPUs should have prevented this from happening. Now, there is two probability. A, either they smuggled the high-end GPUs, or B, which is worse, they did not actually needed it. And that's genuinely shocking, because again, that simply means the USA's CHIPS Act, basically blockading and all that, it's no longer effective. And OpenAI is claiming that they have basically distilled the model to make DeepSeek. Now, here's the deal. That should not be allowed, nor it should be possible. Be mindful, the agreement that you sign when you pay ChatGPT to do that prohibits that. So that's illegal part. It should not be possible because the API key does not allow you to go that deep into the AI model itself. There's like the what you call pre-processing steps are never transparent to the user. It compresses that, converts it through another AI layer, and then gives you the final prompt. So how the heck they went deep inside to actually have a useful distillation? That should not be possible, and it's illegal. So that is there. Now, did this company did that? I would say they would have tried to do that as a curiosity, and they might have done that. Now, did that mean that this is just OpenAI rebaked? No. That's the part. Now, chances are low. Let that be very clear. I cannot say one way or the other. But the fact that DeepSeek is so fundamentally different, and the papers that they are talking about, it's already out there. The research paper, everything is already there. And the fact that this distillation, every AI company does that. Grok does that. Google AI does that. OpenAI does that. OpenAI does that to their own system. It did not become better. It's like trying to extract off a extract generally does not work beyond a certain point. It becomes corrupted. It becomes very delusional, so to say. That hallucination becomes exponentially worse. So it's not just like, oh, what if I distill it? No, no. There is a limit to it. So ChatGPT is at that limit. Otherwise, they would have just made exponential progress by now. But they did not. Nor they have made exponential progress in terms of the hardware consumption. So that's why I'm like, I'm reasonably sure they must have looked into it. It's like, okay, how you are doing it, and they're like, okay, yeah, this is good. This is like we can take some learnings, but it's different. It's different. So fundamentally, the theft allegation is lightweight at best, and yes, it did piss off enough people in USA that government is like, how the heck this happened? I'm like, bro, that's how science works. So theft. Now, what about the impact? Did it have impact? Now, here's the deal. This had almost one of the biggest meltdown that I have covered since my YouTube channel. So massive loss of value, and meaning people who do high speed trading, they would have been like, how the heck I'm bankrupt overnight? That kind of big loss. As you can see, three big daddies like S&P 500, it dipped. Nasdaq, which is like a portfolio of techno companies, that dipped. Nvidia, ultra dipped. So it is bad. Now, let that be very clear. Any Tom, Dick and Harry who have been watching my channel, and any Tom, Dick and Harry who knows anything about anything, knew AI was a bubble. Flat out, there is no reason to burn $500 billion to make AI data center, because here's the deal. How the heck are you going to pay for it? Let's say you took the loan. Cool, awesome. You paid for everything, including, let's say, somehow including the people needed to run that damn thing. Cool, awesome. How the heck you gonna sell a service, and you have to do it fast enough before the hardware becomes obsolete to justify that kind of cost? That's the problem. Everybody has known that. Like, there is no way where you can justify this sort of investment into this thing. And that's why DeepSeek is such a big deal. The fact that investment part has shrunk to such a degree where it's like, you're telling me that I can run this puppy in my, in my office itself, and it's not too expensive. It's like not even one yacht. It's barely, not yacht is too expensive. Come down to something like a few high expensive cars. They can run it at that kind of price. And it's like, how the heck that's possible? So that AI bubble was going to burst, because again, you have to understand, inflation has been going cray recently. So every country's government is applying some hard brakes on basically borrowing, and penalty of that is companies who had like venture capitalists who were going YOLO, oh, you AI take money, you AI take money. They're like, okay, give money back. As in, where is the return on investment? I gave you money 5 years ago. Where is the return on investment? And that's why this had such a dipping effect. And the fact that DeepSeek is not better, it's just cheaper, exponentially cheaper, and it has huge enough margin where it literally bitch slapped everyone. It's like, why are you burning billions and billions and billions of dollars again? So that's why it had such a shocking effect on the market, which again, everybody knew that this is going to happen. It's just that it actually did happen, and China did the bitch slapping. So damn. Now I'm scared of USA simply because whenever they get bitch slapped, they actually improve. So it is very weird, because when China, basically Soviet Union bitch slapped them in Sputnik, they're like, tada, moon landing. And when Japan bitch slapped them in Pearl Harbor, they're tada, double sun. So I'm very scared now, because again, there is a very good chance when you are scared, you actually use this puppy, which again, Trump is trying to use this, which is scary. So impact is significant. So what can we expect in the future? Now here's the deal. This has removed two core roadblocks. Before this, everybody is like, it's not even worth trying, because billions and billions and billions of dollars just to start is not worth it. And again, let that be very clear. More than enough businessmen were like, yeah, this is just a money burning party, because again, what services are you selling that will justify $500 billion? And I'm just like, just the start price, not the running cost and all that stuff. How the heck you can justify that? So that barrier that you have to start with a big B is gone. Now, how significant that is? Well, there is an easy way of analyzing how big the difference between $1 million and $1 billion is. Well, the gap between $1 million and $1 billion is $1 billion. You're still missing $1 billion if you have $1 million. So let that be very clear. Are there Indians, super rich Indians who have billions of dollars? Absolutely, more than enough. Like, shut up, take money. Are they ballsy enough to risk it for AI? No. Now, how many millionaires are there? More than enough. More than enough. It was like, just try it, man. Just put it on the side, back burner, just try it. So that was a very big shock to the system. Now every country is like, we can try. So that is big. And on top of that, the fact that it did not use NVIDIA CUDA, that was another, I do not have to pay the NVIDIA tax anymore. I can use AMD GPUs. I can use, Intel GPUs. I can use other ARM SoCs also. So that's like, damn. So that is a very big thing. However, that's the good part. Here's the bad part. This is the second biggest impact on job market. Now let this be very clear. Before ChatGPT, nobody was taking AI seriously. Even though AI was slowly making progress, it has never breached the human consciousness of common public. Whereas like, oh, AI can just do things. Like a person can do things, AI can do things. That was not a thing. Like Jarvis was something in movie, not something that you can have in your smartphone. But it became a thing after ChatGPT 3.5. That was the biggest shock. So then people people finally understood the fact that yes, AI can actually replace our jobs. We already have robotics. Imagine AI managing these things. It will be a reality where you will not have job security unless you are best of the best of the best of the best. Now, here's the counter to that, which was mathematically valid, is that these things are not real because they cost so much more money. It's like Amazon is not gonna run the basically manager jobs using AI if AI costs them billions of dollars compared to manager salaries who are barely going to billions of dollars, millions of dollars. Like, that order of magnitude gap was so huge that everybody knew that this could happen in principle. Economics was not there. Yeah, they breached that part. Yeah, that part is gone, done. I can actually see now that Dell, HP, Lenovo can literally have a small servers, and they can train their AI specifically for call center jobs and be like, okay, let's fire 80% of call centers, only the best of the best of the best, and high paying jobs, only those will there, but 80% would be poofed. Now here's the deal. You're like, okay, you should be get good kind of idiotic thing. This is the get good part. AI is getting good at this part. You cannot compete. You cannot compete against something that is okay enough but cheap enough where it can work 24 into 7 into 365 until it gets replaced. And not to mention, there's tiny chance it actually keeps getting better. So yeah, you're dead. You can't compete. So this far-flung future of 2040 has now been downshrunk to 2030, meaning I can easily see in 2030 major IT companies will no longer scale up their workforce, and they're like, okay, and as people will be retiring, they'll be like, yeah, well, let's not hire new people. So that's the scary part of it. So I can easily see call center, tech support, low-level DevOps, and assistant, many more. Let that be, and be mindful, because the cost is so low that it can actually just justify that kind of investment. Yeah, things are, and again, if you're best of the best of the best, you can be like one person with a server that is like, few $1 million, and it's cranking out work equivalent of 1,000 people. You see the paradox? So fundamentally, this is very dangerous. The fact that it was going to happen to like, oh, it did happen. So this is a big moment. Let that be very clear. It's like things has become real now. So this was my presentation on DeepSeek AI and why it was such a big deal. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.